Welcome back to the Blissful Badger. The last video was 10 cool things in the room, but the previous week I was talking about how for August I was going to choose a whole bunch of random projects to work on and just get a little bit of each together and progress overall in a lot of different things that I had sitting around. And at the end of the video, I said maybe I wasn't actually looking for that. I needed to find something to actually focus on. And over the course of the last 2 weeks, I've continued to progress in a lot of different things. I worked on my old drop pods a little bit, and I got some time out in the airbrush area, and I was finding myself feeling a little bit down. There wasn't anything actually getting done. There were a few things here and there. Like, I did finally finish basing my Tyranids that I painted over the course of the first part of the year. And they are now in the display cabinet. But I realized I wasn't getting that feeling of completion. And I was getting things worked on. I have been hobbying, but something felt off. Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, I was able to build the Gladiator, and I also got out and I did some airbrushing to get the orange base coats down on some more Covenant of Fire models. It is much, much faster than using a paintbrush to put a bunch of coats of orange down. So I still have a long way to go on these, but it is several hundred more points of models, probably close to 1,000 here. And that'll be a really nice add to the Armageddon models. And I also started recoloring the drop pods. And while I was out there, I also did some lighter brown on the wings of the gargoyles. They've been sitting in this container for several years, and I finally got some airbrush time out there. So these are future projects. And on stream, I have been working on the Baron's War models, and we're actually nearly done with the peasants, the bowmen and the spearmen. I have decided I'm going to do a soft tone wash over everything. And then other than basing, they should be done. And it'll be nice to have something done. But that's going to take at least another couple of days before I get there. And I realized that lack of having something done, I would need to switch whatever projects I was working on just so I could actually have something done. Because having something done gets you that project strength of moving on to something else. So I went over to the Shaltari Drop Fleet Commander stuff, and I finished painting my cruisers. So I have the Jet and Onyx, the Emerald with the green highlights, and the Citrine with its highlights. And so I just finished these today because that way I can actually put 4 more completed models in the pile. And that also gets me this tray back, so I can add a new project to the pile. So I'm going to hopefully keep that down for the moment. I would prefer not to add something right at the moment. But with these guys getting closer to being done, I mean, I still have Red Retinue to do and the more experienced Blue Retinue, but we are working towards getting some stuff done, and this gives me that motivation to keep on going. Honestly, I'm thinking I might put some Battletech minis on this tray for the next project. Or maybe the Tyranids? Tyranids or Battletech. Either one could go on here. But I do also know that for the next week, I should be focusing on the Leagues of Votann unit for the month, because I want to have that unit done for next video. So, the question I have for you, have you got any projects that you've been kind of less than motivated to finish because you haven't finished anything recently? Perhaps find the thing that puts the least amount of work to have a completed project and do it, because the motivation that I got from just finishing these 4 today, I feel like I can actually do some more now. I mean, it was 2.5 weeks since I had last finished a project, and that feels good. So, what do you have going on? Subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.